Hi everybody, my name is Michael Linderman. I'm the pastor of the Lutheran Church of the Redeemer in Ramsey, New Jersey. And I'm coming to you on Wednesday, the 25th of March, and I'm hoping to share with you a little spiritual uplift in the middle of your week. I've been thinking about the burdens we're carrying right now in our contemporary situation. And so I thought of Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, when Jesus says to the disciples, "Come to me, all you that are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The burdens we normally carry in life are heavy enough, but add to those burdens the virus and the effects of the virus and the restrictions on our lives, especially in New Jersey, being asked to stay at home and work from home or not participate in any kind of social interaction, keep social distancing, and so forth. These are adding new burdens to our experience, and I imagine, I know for me and my family, it's a lot, and I'm imagining that for you and your families, it's a lot too. We have the new burdens on top of everything of worrying for the health of ourselves and our families and our loved ones, and then add to that the burdens of doing everything we have to do at home. It's so unusual. It's not like summer vacation. It's not really like normal workday life during the school year or anything. It's this unusual having to do everything you normally do all the time in your home, and only going out for essential shopping, and so it's really causing a lot of stress, added stress for families, especially with young children, and for people in various walks of life. So I wanted to share this with you because Jesus says, you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, those are the people Jesus is looking to help. And that's us. And Jesus says, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. So here's the paradoxical thing about Jesus' yoke. You're putting on a yoke, which is put on an animal like a horse or an ox to carry a wagon, pull a wagon, carry a load. And Jesus is saying, put mine on you. Put it on yourself. Take my yoke upon you. And the paradoxical thing is that we find that that's not a burden at all, but actually an uplift for us. There's a burst of freedom, of energy, of peace, of all of these gifts of the Holy Spirit that come when we take on that yoke of Christ and say we will be a disciple of Christ. We will follow Christ. We will submit to Jesus and his burden. And we find that burden is actually lightness and health and well-being and peace, most importantly, peace in our hearts and minds and lives. When you put on a yoke, especially, when you put a yoke on a horse, they also use blinkers or blinders on the horse, blinkers in England. And they do that so that the animal wearing the yoke and pulling the wagon doesn't get distracted from all of the things around it. The wagon can spook the horse who's pulling it. The people interacting with the wagon, putting things on, taking things off, can spook the horse. So the blinkers reduce the vision, the field of vision of the horse, and the horse doesn't get spooked. It only sees what's in front of it. And so do this for yourselves as you put on the yoke of Christ every day and say, I'm a child of God, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. Put on some blinkers by doing this. Find a room in your house and tell everybody to leave you alone for the next half hour, and go in there and turn off all your devices, turn off your TV, and sit there quietly by yourself, and then open your heart to God and talk to God, or talk to the universe, or whatever you're comfortable with. That quiet time is time for meditation and prayer, and it will help you get comfortable in that yoke of Christ that you are to be in all the time. And that can be that timeout room for mommy or daddy or for whoever in the house. When you need, call it a meditation room if you need to. It's that opportunity to have a moment or two with God, talking to God, listening. Listening is so important. Listening to what your heart needs, listening to what your body and your mind and your soul are saying about the burdens you carry and the nature of those burdens, and lifting that up to God, handing those burdens off and saying, God, you help me. I can't carry these alone. Please help. And Jesus says, I am with you to the end of the age. That's another promise of Christ, that we are his children, and that we as followers are called to enter enter his burden, which is in fact no burden at all, but actually life and well-being for us that surpasses all understanding and keeps us into eternity. So may God bless you with this message, and for the rest of the week. Look forward to another communication from the in an email upcoming at the end of the week about our weekend schedule. And be of good courage, church.